friends, welcome to Freedom in a Budget. I'm Kelly and my channel is all about living life well on a budget. And because of our budget and being frugal and being debt free and all of that, we are able to buy our dream house. We are so excited to be buying our first home. And honestly guys, it's like when they remodeled the house, they looked at my Pinterest board and just did all of the upgrades and everything to my liking. The only thing I would change is like the kitchen counter, which we'll change in like 5 years. But I'm so excited. So we are moving into our first house in 2 weeks, which is crazy that we will be there in 2 weeks. So I have a lot of packing, a lot of stuff, but I wanted to give you guys some house hunting tips. We have done a lot of house hunting and a lot of different things. We have learned so much through this process. This was our first house that we have ever purchased, both my husband and I. I've rented for 12 years now and he has rented for 2 years now. So it's been a crazy experience and so interesting. So I wanted to kind of just go through that like first time home buying process, give you some house hunting tips, what you need to look for, and it's gonna be fun. So tip number one is make sure you have all of your cash saved. I almost fell into this. My husband did a little bit. He started looking at houses about a year ago on Zillow and was sending me properties, you know, multiple properties every single day to look at. And he was kind of pricing out the market, kind of seeing what was in our price range, what we could afford, also different styles of what you like, what he likes. I like the coastal farmhouse rustic feel. He likes the modern feel. So just kind of finding a balance in between those two, and we call our style modern coastal farmhouse. So I don't know if that's possible, but we have done it. It's crazy. And more pieces are coming into the market with like a little modern and coastal feel to us, which is cool. So number one, obviously, is make sure you have all your cash saved. So we did not go out and look at houses until we were ready to buy, until we made sure we had enough in our savings account. We keep everything in Capital One 360, and which is like a 2% high yield interest savings account. It's awesome. And we kept everything in there, and we did not go until we were able to start looking. This is the same exact thing I did when I was buying my Jeep. I didn't want to start looking at cars. I didn't want to test drive cars until I had the cash in hand, because I didn't want to get my hopes up and my heart crushed and everything, where I find the perfect car, I find the perfect house, but I can't do it because I don't have the cash. So just make sure that you're not looking in person, especially before you are ready to buy, before you have that cash. That is huge. Number two is find an experienced realtor, an experienced one. This was hard for us because we have so many friends that are realtors now. You know, side hustle is real. You guys know I love me some side hustle, and we have a lot of friends that have made being a realtor their side hustle, which I love that. I love that they, you know, are going out and getting, you know, additional income and everything. But I need someone that's experienced, and it breaks my heart that we had to say no to so many friends. But as we went through the process, I realized how thankful we were that we did have someone that was so familiar with everything and so just on top of it. So she's been a realtor for over 20 years. And yeah, she's a good family friend of ours, but she has so much experience, and her experience really showed in this, and her negotiation skills really showed in this. And I'm so thankful that we chose her to go with because of her experience and, you know, knowing the market, knowing how things work, knowing what we need to negotiate and different things. Like the house we got, I was ready to just pay cash for it, and she's like, no, we need to look at the comps, we need to look at this, we need to look at everything. And I was like, oh, we can get lower than this? And she was like, yeah. And just knowing how to work with the realtor, knowing what to say and how to get them to lower the price and everything, which is huge. Next tip is something that we did not do, and I want you guys to learn from our mistakes. So is getting pre-approval before you go and look at properties. We did not do that. We went out and we found our house the first time that we went out and looked at houses, which actually more people than you would think do that. And we didn't think we would be able to find our, you know, our house in the first day. We went out for like 6 hours. We had a list of properties that we were going to look at. And the second to last house was the house that we chose. And I like to compare it to like wedding dress shopping. And stay with me, brides. You know when you are trying on wedding dresses and you find your dress, it's the one, and you know it's the one because you're comparing all the other houses to that one, and it's like, you just know, there's just that gut feeling. I started tearing up when we walked into our house. Like, it was amazing, and I'll never forget the feeling of just tearing up because I just knew that this was it. And honestly, I thought that was out of our price range. It was within our price range, but you know, I didn't know what was going to happen with the bidding war, different things, and so you know, our realtor was like, no, we can talk them down. Trust me, we're not paying full asking price for this. And we ended up paying almost $60,000 under asking price, original asking price. So you can do some negotiations. But anyways, back to pre-approval. You need to make sure that if you fall in love with that house, you can put an offer in that day. We didn't do that. We found the house on a Saturday and we didn't get pre-approval till Monday. So that is 3 days that someone else could have come in and put offers on. And the day that we finally did get pre-approval was Monday. We didn't put our offer until 9 p.m. Monday night. Someone else had seen the house twice and went for a second showing and saw the house twice in that time frame. So it could have very easily turned into a bidding war. And honestly, the sellers were hoping that they were waiting for that other offer to come in because they wanted that bidding war to happen. Next up is make a list of all of your must-haves. This is very important, of your must-haves and your wants. You need to know what is non-negotiable. For instance, some of our non-negotiable things was a 2-car wide driveway. A lot of the houses that we looked at were only 1-car garages, which, you know, obviously we prefer 2-car, which ours is. But we were okay with a 1-car garage as long as it was 2-car wide. We didn't want to have to do the whole thing. Let me pull up my car so you can get your car and I'll park behind you and can we switch cars and all that. We didn't want to have to deal with that. We didn't want to have to deal with street parking. We wanted to make sure it was 2-car wide. We wanted to make sure it was at least 3 or 4 bedrooms, preferably 4 because I'm going to have a filming studio in my new one. And we wanted to make sure good schools. We wanted to make sure open concept. Number one was big schools. Like, that was huge for me. There was only 2 areas in like a 30-mile radius that we were able to find good schools across the board. Elementary, middle, and high school, which was really, really hard. And we're having to pay extra because of the school zone and the school district. So, but that's important to us, you know, education and kids and everything. We're looking to have kids the next year or 2. So that's really, really important to us. So make that list of what are your non-negotiables. What is something you cannot live without? Screened in patio. That was one of our wants because of the cats. They love the screen and patio. This apartment doesn't have it, and I really wish it did, but that was not a necessity. That was only a want for us. So make sure you understand the difference and you make a list of necessities, I cannot budge on this, and wants. Next, this one may seem like a no-brainer, but get past things that are fixable. Get past paint colors. There were some houses that we walked in and it was butt ugly. The decor, it was just knickknacks everywhere. Too much furniture, bad paint colors. Get past all that. You know, get past to where it's going to look when you have your colors. Our house is gray, which it was actually the paint color that I would be painting the house. But get past that. And Jamie even questioned me at one point. He was like, "Is this really the house, or do you just like it because it's already gray walls and everything?" And I was like, "No, trust me. Everything else is on our list." He was like, "Okay, good, but just make sure you can get past those fixable items." You want to make sure that, you know, people don't realize how inexpensive just putting up a couple coats of paint can be and how much it transforms a house. Next tip is take notes as you go. So if you are like us, you're going to go out on a day or multiple days and see multiple properties, property after property after property. Take notes as you go. I had all of the MLS listings printed out and I would write on them as we went. Like on this one, I wrote upgraded house. I would write, you know, needs new kitchen, but everything else is good. Or too high of HOA, or weird floor plan, or pretty upstairs bedrooms, or something like that. So that way, you know, when you're going back, you can remember each one, and that you can remember the things that you liked and the things that you didn't like. So when you're fully laying it out. What are we going with? Which ones? Next up is go with your gut. So this is back to the wedding dress analogy of when you know, you know. Like, and it's crazy. And there was houses that I definitely knew that was not for us. That, you know, they put in fake bedrooms and, you know, things that they did just that were a little sketchy or different thing, not up to code. Making sure that you're really looking at all of those and just really knowing what's good, what's bad. Your gut will tell you, you know, your gut will tell you when it's absolutely the house, like this is the one, you know it in your soul, it's the one, and you will fight for it. But you'll also know when it's not, and you don't want to force it if it's not. Next up is one that I'm going to tell you to do as I say, not as I do, because I did not do it, and that is get emotionally attached. I definitely fell into this trap of getting too emotionally attached, and I was, you know, obviously I love this house, guys. You guys know that, and you guys have seen the house tour, right? If you haven't seen the house tour, I'll have it linked at the end of the video and down below. But I made sure that I made a list. I wrote out a list of all the pros of the house, all of the cons of the house. I wanted to know on paper, what were the pros and cons? And the cons, could I live with them? Are they fixable? We have electrical issues in our new house. Is it fixable? Yeah, we can pay an electrician a couple $1,000s to come in and make sure everything's sound, change our GFI plugs, and do all of that. That is something that is fixable. Another con, wood backsplash in the bathroom. That's weird. But, you know, will that rot? Yeah. Is that fixable? Yeah. Okay. Another con, what was it? I don't even, there was just a couple little things. Oh, something with the screen and patio needs some upgrades and stuff, and some trees need to be trimmed. Those are all fixable things, and they're all things that we can work through. And, you know, at the end of the day, is it still the pros outweighing the cons? Yes. Okay. Then you know that you've made a good decision, but you don't want to get too emotionally attached so you overlook all the cons and ones that you cannot live with, you know, ones that, you know, have leaks in the roof and this and that, and, you know, rooms are caving in and stuff like that, or bad mold or different things like that. You need to make sure that you can outlive the cons. And last one is be ready to wait and stress. There's so much of this house buying process that it's like 911, we need this right now, right now, right now. Okay, we get it. Okay, now we wait. And we negotiate. And we wait for them. Okay, 911, we need this right now. Okay, now we have to wait 48 hours for their response. And more offers may come in and turn into a bidding war. And your stress level comes up. And they're wanting more offers to come in. And you negotiated, and then they put it back on the market to try and get a bidding war. There's so much that can happen. There's so much that is stressful, and you really have to trust your realtor. You really have to just, you know, trust God that it's all going to work out if it's meant to work out, and that's easier said than done. I had so many coworkers say, if it's not the house for you, you'll find another one, and this and that. And yeah, I knew that was true, but it sucked hearing it. You know, I didn't want to hear that. But honestly, guys, it's true. It all worked out. You know, I fully believe that this is the house that God wants us in. There's so many different reasons that I believe that. You know, it's right close to our church. It's in such a great area. It's in a great neighborhood, in a good community. We have friends up there. There's so many reasons why I believe that this is the house for us, and it all worked out. So that is my house hunting tips. I hope this helped you, and let me know if there's any additional tips that, you know, I left out. Let me know if you have any like house hunting horror stories, or, you know, your first house was a crazy disaster or anything like that. I would love to hear those stories down below in the comments. Please leave them. If you know anyone that is buying a house, please share this video with them. I hope that would help them as well. And leave the secret emoji down below in the comments if you made it to the end. Here are my social media handles and blog. Please go check that out if you haven't already subscribed, and hit the bell notification, and go check out the vlog of the house so you guys can see the house that I've been talking about this whole time. I will leave the vlog at the end of the video. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.